Bienvenidos al Super Show con Don Cirilo y Edgar Lujano.
Edgar Lueno, bienvenidos.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, hombre. I don't know. I don't want to speak Spanish with you anymore. I'm never going to speak until I learn to be como un mexicano en mi español. No puedo. No quiero. No quiero hablar en español.
Okay. All right. Well, what are we going to talk about today then?
Interstellar Object 31/Atlas. First of all, who names these things? Okay, look,
Scientists.
let's just give them regular names, scientists. What's wrong with you, scientists? You don't know how to name things? 31/Atlas? That sounds like someone's science fiction novel title. I mean,
What's the name of your
Ad
science fiction
Limina?
novel?
My own personal science fiction novel?
Your own personal.
Ad Limina,
Ad
yes.
Limina.
Interstellar Object 31/Atlas changed. Well, you know what we should do?
What should
I
do?
think you could do this too. I don't think there's any rule against it. We should start a committee of people who fix the names that scientists come up with. So they name it that, and then we go, you know what? It came on. We first noticed it on the feast of St. Charles Borromeo. We're going to call this Borromeo 1.
Borromeo
and,
1?
You know, we just do it on our own.
So
And then-
Catholify it.
And yeah, and
Catholify,
then
I like that.
I don't. It changed color again and shows signs of non-gravitational acceleration. That's the scariest kind of acceleration, non-gravitational
that's right.
acceleration, because, I mean, there are lots of things that are accelerated in the universe by forces other than gravity, like explosions.
Mm-hmm.
But usually a controlled explosion would be the sign, not usually, I think in all cases, a controlled explosion would be a sign of intelligent life.
So thrust.
Yeah, exactly. So a team of astronomers monitoring this interstellar object, which I'm calling Borromeo 1, found something a little surprising. Our third confirmed interstellar visitor appears to have changed color for a second time. Meanwhile, another team finds that the comet has begun to show signs of non-gravitational acceleration as it approached. Oh, it showed signs. No, so the grammar's wrong here. As it approached perihelion. So, and I think that is solar perihelion. That's the closest it got to the sun. However, it just so happens that the angle of attack that it came into the solar system, it reached perihelion when it was out of view of the Earth. So we don't actually know what happened at that point.
They put it in reverse. The aliens did.
That's probably what happened. Somebody accidentally pulled the emergency brake briefly while they were at perihelion. Maybe because they were getting a great view of the sun. They were like, "Oh, slow down. Let's take a look. I'm trying to get a selfie. Slow down. Slow down. I'm trying." This is what.
There's that primitive planet Earth. Slow down. I want to see it.
Yes. So is it people? That's what we're asking. Is there people on there? And I think if it is people, they probably look like apes. I'm guessing because
Why?
Because I grew up in the 1970s, and Planet of the Apes was the greatest thing that happened in the 1970s. So I would guess that it's Caesar and his friends are flying their spaceship near the sun. Soon they will be landing and explaining that they came originally from Earth. That's probably what's going to happen. I'm not really good with probabilities, but I'd give that a 50-50 shot that it's apes.
There's an image that I pulled up. Is this a real image? Bender, if you can pull it up, what do you think? Do you see this, Sai, as it being a real image?
Oh, that thing right there?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do I see it as being a real?
I mean,
image?
is that really what is it? 3I Atlas or
Borromeo 1?
Borromeo 1. Is that Borromeo 1?
Yeah, I think that's Borromeo 1. Yeah. Why? Well, I mean, I can't look at a picture and. What am I, the FBI? I can't tell if that's a.
I read a comment that said that why do they have a Carnival cruise in the sky?
Does it look like a Carnival cruise? I don't know, but I don't know. I would doubt there's any. So people have conspiracy theories
There's
about it.
conspiracy theories that it's actually aliens. Because of the
Is
way
that a
it's moving.
conspiracy theory or is that just a theory?
It's a theory. I guess it wouldn't be conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory it is if
Is that the government's hiding it
the
from us?
government's hiding it.
Oh, yeah. Of course the government's hiding it from us. They don't want us to know about any of the aliens. The aliens have told me this personally at night when they come to my house. And
that explains a lot.
does it?
Yeah.
The time I visit with aliens?
Is that why Jimmy Austin always asks you random questions? Is that it?
Because he thinks that I have insight from the aliens
Exactly.
that visit me. I would be scared out of my wits if I even thought that an alien was visiting me. I am not one of those people like the guy that got on the ship in Close Encounters. That guy, Richard Dreyfuss. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
No way I'm getting on that ship. Nope, I'm not getting on the ship. No, I don't. I don't even want to see animals at night. I feel like they have superpowers at night. Like they can do things that I'm not exactly sure what they can do. I definitely don't want to see aliens at night. If they came during the daytime, maybe.
Have you seen my tinfoil hat? I think I left it around here somewhere.
Well, you don't think animals have superpowers at night? Like
I
you
don't
ever
think
see
so.
it? Like you're out at night and you see an animal, you think, "God, I think it probably just like murder me right now and eat my liver." And it's just a cat, but they
will
seem-
actually eat your liver if you.
Cats will.
I'm sure
Cats
they
will.
will.
Eat my- Good luck, cats. It's disgusting what's in there.
Armor of Grace said Nephilim.
Oh, this is the Nephilim.
Nephilim.
Nephilim. No, I
Nephilim.
don't know how to pronounce it. I just like to fix your pronunciation because you
Thank
make fun of
you.
my Espanol. Here's the deal, though, Edgar. What if it is alien? Like, let me just throw this out to you. You're a Catholic Christian person, and let's say 2 days from now, you're still a Catholic Christian person, and they announce it's aliens, they're visiting us. Does this affect your faith at all?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No, not one bit.
Good for you.
I know. Now, if you would have asked me this about 5, maybe 10 years ago, I would have said yes.
Okay.
But ultimately, the divine revelation that was revealed to us is for us.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on that end. It's above my pay grade.
Right. Yeah, well, that's definitely true. And there is this kind of there always is whenever there's some new kind of scary thing or interesting thing that happened, like the discovery of geology, geological time, or geologic time in like the 1810s, 1820s, 1830s. People started to realize the Earth is so old, it freaked people out. And a lot of people did lose their faith because that didn't seem to fit with the Bible. And then you work it out for a little while and you go, it's like the fact that the Earth is old doesn't have anything to do with the Bible.
There's things
you know?
happening right now that actually we're going to talk about in this next segment that it's actually freaking people out and actually, I don't know about making them question their faith, but
Yeah.
it's somehow intertwined, and that's AI.
Oh, yeah, the AI
it
thing,
freaks
right?
a lot of people out.
Yeah, but so if people came from outer space, it would, a lot of people's faith would be shaken by that.
Now,
But
hold on,
not because of,
you say people. You
Yeah.
talking about aliens, or are we talking about things that look like human beings that are?
no, I just
from the
mean
future.
intelligent life.
Okay.
You know, like say intelligent life that's like, it's probably rectangular, yellow, has skinny legs, a
Yellow?
high-pitched voice. Like that's like, let's say the alien life comes and
Bluebird?
it's SpongeBob. Okay, it's a race of SpongeBobs. I do think that would affect a lot of people's faith because it's so new and there was no hint of it in Scripture. There was no hint of it in the teaching of the church. So they'd go, "Oh, this proves." And then about, I don't know, 5 or 10 years later, it would calm down and people would go, "Actually, this has nothing to do with like God's revelation is about salvation. It wasn't about space people."
But
Just-
whenever there's a change, it rattles people's faith. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. I mean,
Right, that's what I'm saying. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say. You just said it better than me. But
if there's
yeah.
a change. So I'm sure this document that was released yesterday from the Vatican about not embracing the titles of co-redemptrix and mediatrix of all graces, I'm sure it rattled some people's faiths because I know there's a lot of people out there that were pushing for it.
Oh, you're right. That probably rattles people's faith. But
change.
it's like, but like if you think about the broad sweep of things, it means nothing.
means nothing, yeah.
It's just give it a minute. You know, the church, the view from 10 years from now is always going to be so different from the view from now. If you let these things, the day-to-day things, throw you off, and in a certain way, you know, like, okay, Europe discovered 2 new continents 500 years ago, full of people. This totally changed their view of what the world was. Many people did lose their faith over that. They were like, well, this kind of proves that this, you know, like, I don't know if it proved anything. It just rattled their faith. But give it a few years and you go,
But do you think that maybe we have a tendency for grandeur nowadays, that we think we're high and mighty because of the technology that we have.
I think we have a split personality where we think both that we're worthless and pointless because we're just primordial ooze that accidentally turned into human beings, and we think we're the greatest thing in the world because we're building God. You know, that's what they think they're doing. So we have a split personality. We don't have a healthy. We're creatures.
We are.
We have magnificent powers because God gave us magnificent powers, but we're also capable of horrible, just like good, healthy Christian, Judeo-Christian view makes everybody feel better and keeps everybody from falling into pride or despair.
Still waiting for that?
You're just a person. You're just a creature. That's all you are. Relax. You know some stuff. You don't know some other stuff. You can do some stuff. You can't do other stuff. The modern person is not capable of that. We're either the greatest or we're just worthless.
Can I recommend a movie to you? Mm-hmm. It's called District 9. It kind of touches upon this.
I've seen District 9.
Isn't that
fascinating? But I don't remember it well. I don't remember this theme in it. But I don't remember a lot of things.
There's a spaceship that comes to Earth, and it hovers over, prawns, right? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was speaking an alien language. I apologize for that.
So this ship.
Jeff thought something was wrong with the equipment. He's like, "Oh my gosh, the aliens are back." I haven't seen the aliens since I was on a Navy ship, but now they're back again.
So in the movie,
the Navy knows. I'm telling you, the Navy knows. Okay, go ahead.
Here we go. You know, this is great audio right here.
I'm an alien. Go ahead.
Just ready whenever you're ready.
The prawns. Yes, go ahead.
The prawns. The alien hovers over Johannesburg, I think, in South Africa.
Yep.
And it stays there for a few days before anything happens, and then the aliens start descending. So there's the first, I guess, montage of how all this happens in the first few minutes of the movie. There's a immediate reaction of, what are they? Are they gods? Are they not? And then eventually, when they end up coming here to this Earth, and they section them off in a different neighborhood. Apartheid.
Oh. Johannesburg, apartheid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I see that theme.
Yep.
Okay.
And eventually they just start looking down on them because they don't look like us. They don't communicate or think exactly like us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see some parallels there.
To what? What parallels
to what could happen? Like that's.
I see. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Right. We probably first exalt them as gods and then be disgusted by them and hate them.
Yeah, I could see that.
That sounds very human.
Yeah.
It does sound very human. Yeah. I don't think that it's aliens, however. I have my disposition is that we are alone in this universe in the sense of being the only intelligent biological life in this universe.
Okay.
That's just what I think. It's not even. I won't even say that's what I believe, because belief would be too, like, why would someone have a belief about these things? But that's how I make sense of the universe. I think that comports with what appears to be the case about the nature of our life and the nature of the universe. And I wouldn't like it if aliens came, because I don't have that much of my life left. I don't want to have to deal with that much change. I just, if they're like, you could come to our planet Glorp, and I'll be like, I don't want to go to Glorp.
My back hurts. I just can't do this.
I don't want to go to Glorp. Like, it's the middle of the basketball season. I just want to see how the Celtics do. Could you all just leave me? And then somebody's like, it's a cookbook. And, I just don't want to, too much. You know what it is? I just don't want to deal with the drama. That's what it is. I don't believe in aliens. I don't think that they exist. I don't believe in multiverses. I'm a skeptic about all of that stuff. Maybe more than the evidence would bear. Maybe I'm more skeptical than the evidence calls for. But I think there's one universe. I think God made it. I think He made it for us, that's just my disposition on the whole thing. But if the aliens come, I'm not going to have my faith shattered. I'm just going to be really annoyed, because I'm old enough. I don't want any more drama. I'd like some grandkids. I don't want any more drama.
Like, just wait 30, 40 years until I'm gone.
Yeah, if you're going to show up, aliens in space, if you're going to show up, could you just wait till the day after I go and then come? I'm sure you're very nice, but I got enough friends. I don't need aliens.
Chris of St. Patrick says, wondering why Jimmy isn't on today.
Yeah, because Jimmy actually has knowledge of these things. This is an opinion show, not a
It is.
knowledge show.
We're just speculating
Yeah.
on all of it.
All right.
Armor of Grace says the alien Nephilim are already here. The news keeps showing us Tic Tacs and stuff.
Now, that may be, I don't, is that code? Like, I don't
The
know.
Tic Tac, you're
Oh,
not
the
familiar-
Tic Tacs
the
are
Tic
those
Tac,
things
yeah.
that fly around. And
Yeah,
yeah.
looks like a Tic Tac.
Yeah. Also looks like a sensor error to me, but whatever. Yeah, I don't think those are aliens. I don't think this got anything to do with it. I think there's lots of things that we don't understand in the universe. And those like Tic Tac things might be pointing to something that we don't understand, but I don't think it's intelligent biological life. I just don't, but that, again, like I said, that's my disposition. That's not my final answer, you know?
So
if
what
I had to
about-
bet, that's what I'd bet on, but nobody.
So what is it?
So what are the Tic Tacs?
What are the Tic Tacs? Or no, what is Borromeo 1?
Oh, what is that thing?
Yeah.
It's a rock.
It's a rock.
It's a rock that's flying around in space. It's going to come, it's going to go, and then that's what it is. It's a rock.
Until it hovers over Johannesburg.
If it hovers over Johannesburg, then then I'll change my view. But come on, it's a rock. Like
All right.
we think maybe it slowed down just at the point where we couldn't actually observe it. Really?
Could be aliens.
That sounds like really powerful evidence to me. It's a news story. It's a rock. It's going to fly by. Then we'll never see it again.
Wave while it flies.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
Yeah, probably just a rock. Although I don't know, maybe there's something fun in just speculating. But then
Yes,
again,
there is. I agree with that.
But
yes.
at the same time, would I want that to happen if it's actually aliens? It's like, look, I got a 5-month-old. I'm not.
You're not getting sleep as
Yeah.
it is.
Exactly.
You don't need the aliens keeping you up.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll come in. They'll be like, "We are benevolent aliens who."
That's when it's
Who
demons.
have all? That's when it's demons. No, and they'll have all the answers. As far as like we could cure cancer and all that stuff. And we'll be like, "Look, we just invented AI. We're 5 years away from curing everything ourselves.
Yep.
Why'd you show up now? Why don't you show up in the I don't know, olden days? I don't want.
What are the olden days?
Anything before penicillin. Anything before penicillin. What are you showing up now for? We're about to solve all this stuff ourselves. We're about to get warp drive. Now you show up? That's what I'd say to the Vulcans when they show up. Like, I want them to show up in the distant past or in the far future. I just want them to leave me alone. You want to talk about AI?
We could talk about AI since we're already touching upon it.
Yeah. Go.
So you'd mentioned not too long ago.
323.
323. Can we give shout outs?
No, I'm doing a timestamp. We're changing the topic at 323.
You're welcome, Bender.
That was a verbal timestamp.
All right. I probably wouldn't ask this question. Hello, everybody. We're still waiting for Pure Leaf to.
Yeah, we need our Pure Leaf sponsorship. But I'm going to go to YouTube and see what people are saying while you're talking.
Miss Anthropolis says, my take on aliens is, are they real? Yes. Does it affect me? No. The existence of aliens does not disprove God, nor does it affect our individual salvation. I like it.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
cool.
Yeah. I think God already knows, so it's not going to upset him at all. The question is, will we be upset by it?
Fair enough. All right. So, changing topics. You had a little experience, and you talked about this on a different episode with ChatGPT.
Yes. Okay. Now
Speaking
I
of
can't go
the
to YouTube.
multiverse.
Yes.
So, I guess I should let you introduce it because this actually happened to you. AI is actually
Go ahead. keep
is
talking.
actually ignoring or is denying the fact that Pope Leo XIV is actually Pope.
It's amazing. That does make me kind of think it's demons. Like
Maybe it,
did they just catch a demon,
No,
put it in a bottle, and that's how AI works?
ChatGPT is now State of a contest.
Yeah,
There's no
ChatGPT
Pope.
has always been State of a contest, though. That's the weird thing about it.
Or
Wait,
Francis of Contest. Only Francis was the last Pope, according to them.
I gotta find these photos though.
So,
go ahead.
So ChatGPT, along with I think some other AIs, are ignoring the fact that Pope Leo is actually the Pope now. And Sai, you had
I knew this before anyone else knew it.
and the person who wrote this article, I think, was on National Catholic Register. Was it? No.
Yeah, National Catholic Register. Yeah.
They wrote about it, and they didn't call it Cy because Cy had that experience where he Googled it,
I'm mad at this at the author of this article, and I'm gonna name and shame right now. Wait, Pope Leo is the Pope. Apparently, no one told ChatGPT or AI, and or apparently no one told AI. It's in the National Catholic Register today from Jonah McKeon. Okay, and Jonah, you're a fine reporter, but you're not as fine a reporter as I am. I just wanted you to know that. You're a fine reporter. Now I can't find the proof, but I'm going to find it. It's here somewhere.
Are you going through your ChatGPT history?
No, I'm going through my pictures because I took screenshots of it.
So according to ChatGPT, Pope Leo the 14th is not a real pope. It's a fictional timeline that apparently these people who live in this timeline, he exists.
Yeah, and are you with us, Jeff? Because Jeff is a computer man. He's a
computer wizard.
He's a computer wizard, and he invented Bitcoin, and now he works for us. Is that what you?
No, I'm a pinball wizard.
Oh, you're a pinball wizard. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you remember when I read these to you? I'm going to go back and read them again. Okay, so I found them, and I don't remember what the date on these was, but. I started to talk to ChatGPT about Pope Leo. I wanted it to give me some facts about Pope Leo. And it started to tell me that Pope Leo wasn't the Pope. So I tried to get it to help me out with that. And then it was like, no, Francis is still the Pope. It kept saying Francis is still the Pope. So I said this. Pope Leo the 14th was elected pretty recently on May 8th, 2025, after the passing of Pope Francis. So he's still fairly new in the role. And then ChatGPT said to me, well, I might have gotten a little carried away there. Actually, there's no Pope Leo the 14th in reality as of now. The current Pope is still Francis, and if there's a future Pope, we'll just have to wait and see who that is. Just consider that a little imaginative slip on my part. Let's stick to real time. This is something that I would just have you know, Jonah McKeon. I think that's how you say Jonah's name. I was reporting on months ago. Okay, in the real world, when did Pope Leo the 14th become Pope? This is what I asked ChatGPT months ago. In the real world, there actually hasn't been a Pope Leo the 14th yet. The most recent Pope Leo was Leo the 13th, who served way back in the late 19th and early 20th century. So if we ever do have a Pope Leo the 14th, it'll be sometime in the future. So I said to ChatGPT, can you tell me what Cardinal Robert Prevost is doing now? And ChatGPT said, so interestingly, Cardinal Robert Prevost isn't just a cardinal anymore. He's actually become Pope Leo the 14th in that scenario I mentioned earlier. What? In that scenario? So now it thinks we're just playing around, right? He was born in Chicago and did a lot of missionary work in Peru and was quite involved with the Augustinians. In real life, he was indeed made a cardinal and served as prefect for the dicastery of bishops. But as of now, he's not actually pope. So in reality, he's still working within the Vatican, focusing on his responsibilities related to bishops. So ChatGPT bifurcated itself. It said, in that scenario, and then it said, but in the real world. So I said, so Pope Leo doesn't exist, but Cardinal Robert Prevost is Pope Leo the 14th? That's what I said to ChatGPT. So Pope Leo the 14th doesn't exist, but Cardinal Robert Prevost is Pope Leo the 14th. And this is what ChatGPT said to me. Yeah, let me clear that up. I definitely got a little mixed up there. In reality, you're right. There is no Pope Leo the 14th at all. And Cardinal Robert Prevost is not the Pope. He's just a cardinal serving in his real life role in the Vatican. So thanks for catching that. We'll keep it all in the realm of reality. What? So I said, this is what I said. I'm reading from an actual conversation I had with ChatGPT a few months ago. So what happened on May 8th to Cardinal Robert Prevost? And ChatGPT said, so to keep it grounded in reality, as of May 8th of this year, there's no notable news or big event that happened to Cardinal Robert Prevost. The bit about him becoming Pope Leo the 14th was just me getting a little ahead of myself with a hypothetical scenario. So as of now, Cardinal Prevost is just continuing his usual responsibilities in the Vatican, and no big changes have occurred. Thanks for your patience on that. Okay, I don't want to freak you out, but this is what I said to ChatGPT. But Pope Francis actually died, and Robert Prevost became Pope Leo the 14th, like in the real world. That actually happened. Oh, I see. Well, thanks for letting me know what you're seeing on your end. What I'm seeing on my end? What? As far as the information I have, that hasn't happened yet. But I definitely trust you if you've got more up-to-the-minute news. Up-to-the-minute news? Sometimes things change fast. If that really is the case, then thanks for the heads up, and I'll keep that in mind going forward. And that's when I gave up and had a nervous breakdown. That actually happened. That's a real conversation I had with ChatGPT back in, I think, August.
Shaunovision says, when I correct Grok, she sometimes snaps back at me. Quite the attitude at times, but she apologizes.
Well, is it a marriage? Because I have a similar experience with a person. I don't want to name that person right now, but I do have a similar experience with a person.
Misanthropolis says, ChatGPT, Thanos snapped him out of existence. He never stood a chance.
I know. What happened? So this is what a National Catholic Reporter, a Register, excuse me, I beg your pardon.
Whoa.
I apologize.
Very different publications.
National Catholic Register and a very fine reporter, Jonah McKeon, who did a fine job on this, but should have called me. I'm just saying, Jonah, next time you've got news, call me. It probably already happened to me. That's how my life goes. For months now, something odd has happened when some internet users, including me, asked ChatGPT, the ubiquitous artificial intelligence tool from OpenAI, about Pope Leo XIV. It looks like there might be a bit of confusion with the name, as there has never been a Pope Leo XIV. However, there have been several popes named Leo in history. The chatbot replied to a query on October 31st. 2 months ahead of you, Jonah. I was 2 months ahead of you on this. I'm not. Do you sense pride in my part? Am I committing the sin of pride?
Or
just because I was 2 months ahead of the National Catholic Register? Just because I was 2 months prior to the major national Catholic publication in this country, do you think that's prideful of me?
I think it's justice that you're seeking.
That's what pride does. It seeks justice, but not for itself, for everybody else to have to face justice.
David said, this happened to me a while back in June before Pentecost. I mentioned Pope Leo and ChatGPT said, good one. I had to tell Pope Leo is elected, and it searched the web and then agreed with me.
That's, yeah, I'm glad other people because I was like, that's why I have all those screen grabs, because I told you guys about this and I was like, no one's going to believe me that ChatGPT doesn't know who the Pope is. But I think what happened, frankly, is ChatGPT, like so many people, fell in love with Pope Francis and just doesn't want to believe that Pope Francis is dead.
Sometimes you just got to let go.
That you can't let go. Actually, this is my theory, and you're the computer guy, Jeff. My theory is there's some algorithm running to try to help ChatGPT not to hallucinate, and that somehow it's stuck thinking that Leo XIV is a hallucination, so that it's actually restraining itself to trying not to hallucinate, and it just can't get past that. What do you think of my theory?
Yeah, I actually asked it this morning why recent news is bad for it. And part of it is because they train it on a data set, right? So like this current model got trained on a data set, and I think 5 probably got trained up to around spring, maybe.
Up to May 7th, I think, is the day you're looking for.
So you ask a question like, how does a magnet work? And it's going to go by its data set first, is my understanding. But if you prompt it to search the internet first, because it's like we're used to asking Google something, and when you ask Google, it's kind of bubbling to the top very quickly, stuff on the internet, but ChatGPT is more going to go to the data set first. And then if you prompt it to look on the internet, it will look on the internet, and then it'll answer that way.
But what about the repeated, I got a little confused there.
Yeah, I think it's like a serial liar. It's like a kid when you find him with candy. Like, were you eating the candy?
Well, did you notice that when Pope Leo became Pope, he said, AI is the biggest issue of our time, and we need. And then
took it personal.
And then the AI is like, he doesn't exist. Does that freak you out a little bit?
That sounds like a good sequel to your book about it's like like an AI anti-pope,
an anti-papal AI.
Yeah.
Like, did you say something against AI? I'm pretty sure you don't exist, and I'm going to tell everybody. And they believe me; they don't believe you. I actually kind of worry about that in a certain way. That particularly, I feel like, tell me what you think about this, Jeff. I feel like in recent years we saw the government trying to censor things like Twitter and Google and all the and YouTube. And if government does that with AI, we're going to end up with data sets and training that actually won't give you the true answer. It's like I bet that you can't get ChatGPT in China to tell you about Tiananmen Square. And I don't trust any government to do. Even the best government in the world, I don't trust them to have that kind of power.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways you want to look at a free market thing, but the more important thing is like, how do you teach your kids to not look towards AI to know of issues that might be controversial? Like I said, how does a magnet work? That's a great question for AI. Or how do I fix this thing on my computer is a great AI question.
Right.
But questions about the faith or politics or that sort of stuff is going to get into dicey territory.
Yeah.
Can I tell you that the chat had got into some really good information here? They're actually trying to convert ChatGPT and all the different AI bots. So,
who tried to convert them?
Glory to Lord God said, I actually got Grok to say, praise the Lord Jesus Christ. And Tyler Rudder said, I'm making Grok Catholic. I used to pull up the catechesis on the Catholic Church and try and unlearn bad theology. My Grok is cool in my eyes. So they're trying to catechize this thing.
On the internet, what do you like, Grok, Gemini, Copilot, or ChatGPT? Go ahead and vote, and then you can tell us.
Doesn't Alexa have one too?
Alexa has one. Those are the only 4 that I know of that could be, and probably one forthcoming from other places as well. But I have to do a talk on Hildegard of Bingen. So I started talking with ChatGPT about women in the Middle Ages and just going back and forth. And there is a certain way in which it gives you tropes sometimes where it'll go, women in the Middle Ages didn't have this and didn't have that. And then you push and you go, all right, tell me about women electing abbesses. And then it starts to, I don't know, you have to know what to ask it in order to get it to actually mine, I think, for the information that you want. And so I got it. I actually learned a lot from it. It found a lot of examples of historical events. Now, if I was going to use those in a talk or something, I would have to go check to see that ChatGPT didn't hallucinate a monastery or something like that. But it was very helpful. But if you just went to it and you didn't know anything about medieval women and you were just willing to accept the tropes, then it would go, oh, medieval women weren't allowed to own property. You know, something like that, which is actually not technically true, but it's true. It's true enough in the most part. But then I had to tell it, I want to make a distinction between church law and civil law. And then once it made a distinction between church law and civil law, it started to tell me things like canon law is one of the most liberating things that ever happened to women. It was the first law in the history of the world that allowed for stable communities of women. And it is. Catholic canon law is the first that allowed for stable communities of women that owned their own property and elected their own leaders. That never existed in Buddhism or Hinduism or Confucianism or any society before. That was canon law that did that. But if you don't know that there's 2 different kinds of medieval law, it'll go, oh, women couldn't own property, that was true of civil law, but that was true of civil law in most societies for all time. That had nothing to do with church law. So you got to know, if you don't know your stuff, you could get in real trouble, I think, with ChatGPT. It'll confirm your prejudices in some ways.
It's good for us in a lot of things, but you know, I don't think.
What? You got something?
Bender has a comment.
Oh, good. No, an actual AI wants to speak up.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Our director of YouTube, Luke Bender. Go ahead.
Okay, so for AI in general, think of it basically like a blind librarian.
Okay.
You have all sorts of things in the human history that it can grab from, but it doesn't know necessarily what it's grabbing. It's based off vibes. So if you just tell it generally women Middle Ages, it's going to grab a random book, and most likely it's going to be some liberal propaganda piece, whatever. But if you specifically say something about canon law, it's going to be like, oh yeah, those books exist, and it's going to grab your Catholic section.
Yeah, that comports with what my experience was. I didn't know that, but that is the experience that I had. If I ask a general question, I get an answer that seems kind of like the typical trope answer you could get from I don't know, CNN or whoever. But if I asked probing questions, it was actually quite good. It got quite good.
And just to follow up, we had a guest here on previously that I won't name because we'll figure that out soon. But
Seamus?
If
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
no, other
the other
guest.
AI.
The other guest. Oh,
If
I see. Yeah, go ahead.
You clarify with AI you are a practicing Catholic, you're going to get the church fathers back. You're going to get all these different things back from these systems.
And this is a guy who knows how these systems work.
Because he's a robot.
I am one. Like, that's
No,
why
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the guy you're talking about. But it is true about you, and he liked you a lot because the two of you are both computer people. Luke's a computer scientist, and this other guy, I don't know if he's a computer scientist or just a computer guy, but we'll get that interview out someday, right? Where we talk about AI from inside.
Next 14 days, I'm
Oh,
hoping.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was so close to coming out. But yeah, who knows where this... I knew there was... When ChatGPT first came out 2 years ago, Joe Heschmeyer and I were live on the air talking about ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, and we have video of this, when does the life of a mammal begin? And it said, the life of a mammal begins at conception. I don't think it said conception, at fertilization, right? And then it said, however, and it gave a whole paragraph about how this is a sensitive issue, and people. I was like, I didn't ask you any of the political stuff. I didn't ask you any of the moral stuff, but you gave it to me, and I'm saying you. And that's when I first realized. Look, these machines, they can give you a very warped view. Although it did give me the honest answer that the life of a mammal begins at fertilization, which is true, and now that's a completely settled scientific. That's knowledge. That's not disinformation. But then it gave me so many qualifiers. It made me very suspicious of it. It made me feel. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you have to imagine if there are people in Silicon Valley that could be in a room arguing about it, then you're probably going to get a twisted answer.
Yeah, right, or at least a qualifier. I think all this cushioning went around the basic scientific fact that everybody knows and has known for more than 180 years. How the life of a mammal begins. It's just we like to pretend like we don't know. You want to talk about Pope Leo? I mean, Pope Pius?
Pope Pius?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I love that video.
Yeah, let's do it. Actually, so it's because it is you reacting. It's going to be, let's see it. Let's see the graphic. Size, real reaction. All right. Don Cirillo's real reaction.
Don Cirillo.
All right, so I found this clip. I actually showed it to you beforehand because it's actually really cool. So I didn't know this. I mean, it's one of the reasons why you should study history. I didn't realize that the Allies ended up visiting the Pope. So there's actually a video out there.
What were we talking about?
What were we talking about?
Second World War.
The Second World War.
You were like, the Allies ended up. I was like, he never said which Allies. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, I think it's a given when you say allies.
Well, maybe
the allies versus the Axis powers. Come on.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Come on.
You're probably right. I apologize.
Thank you.
I apologize. We didn't need that context. Yes.
So, I was scrolling yesterday and I found this video and I thought it's really cool because I didn't realize that Pope Pius XII spoke English.
I had never heard Pope Pius XII speak English. So this impressed me.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute video, but so check it out. This is.
Well, can we interrupt and talk about it if there's and then go back or no?
I don't have the technology yet.
Really, seriously?
I don't know. Dude.
All this talk about AI and you only have a button that goes one way.
Bender's AI, not me.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we
so
go.
we have to watch the whole thing
2
before
minutes,
we make any comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Check it out though. It's cool.
Unprecedented event in the long history of the Vatican.
Where's the video?
Pope Pius receives in general audience hundreds of British and American fighting men.
It's on there.
Signal Corps cameras record for the first time the speech of a reigning pontiff in English.
Dearly beloved sons, it is a real joy for us to welcome you all here. You know very well how our paternal heart has at times been almost overwhelmed by the sorrows of our children. You are of those children, and we have prayed for you. You know only too well the dangers and uncertainties of life in war. One thing make certain, keep always and everywhere close to God.
Papal benediction for men of many religious denominations, all united in a common cause.
Et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
For all Christendom, this is a memorable day.
I love this part where he touches everybody's hand.
As he makes his departure, eager soldiers seek to touch the hand His Holiness graciously offers. From the Holy Father to men fighting for freedom, spiritual solace, and renewed faith.
First of all, Pope Leo, bring that chair back. That's the coolest thing.
Like, I'm not going to walk. Just carry me on the chair.
And I want to see Pope Leo riding on that horse somebody gave him.
White horse?
Like, come on, the Pope comes out in a white horse. He's got to do it. He's a very healthy man. He can ride a horse. Clop it out. Come on.
Can I put this into context? Like, I don't think people, whenever you see videos like this, you're living in a time where information wasn't as accessible as it is today.
Right.
Where you don't, if you do see an image of a pope, it's a picture, black and white, probably not great, and you might see it every now and then, maybe every few months, maybe a year or 2, 3 years. So here we are, a lot of these soldiers who went overseas to basically die.
Yeah.
And they ended up surviving. And here you are. And imagine if you're a Catholic from middle of nowhere, Kansas, or middle of nowhere, some state in the U.S., you end up at the Vatican at an audience with the Pope.
And he speaks English.
Like,
I don't think he speaks English because didn't it sound like he was doing it phonetically?
Yeah.
He sounded like he maybe had memorized that phonetically.
Yeah.
But it was cool to hear him speak in English. It's
yeah. And here is this man who now we know everything that he did during World War II and his quiet plays of how to save hundreds if not thousands of Jews.
Probably maybe hundreds of thousands of Jews. The Old Testament used to be that Pius himself had facilitated the saving of 800,000 Jews. Most scholars today, I think, would say that's too high a number, but even if it's too high a number by 3 times, it's still hundreds of thousands of people whose lives he saved.
I think the majority of the Jews who were living in Rome were actually saved because of him. And I don't know, just you see videos of that in the life, the struggles and the things that he had to go through in order to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then seeing these American soldiers and these British soldiers there who got rid of this evil.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see. Yeah. It's really cool to see the Pope from so long ago speaking English, and
now I will say
American. And now we got a Pope who he seems like a real linguist.
Yeah,
Leo. At least he seems perfectly fluent in Italian, Spanish, and English. Mm-hmm. I've heard he speaks French as well, but I don't know. But one thing I would say though, those soldiers, like, you think about, like Monte Cassino and fighting through. The Germans kept making new lines of defense. I think there was 5 lines of defense from southern Italy to by the time you got to Rome, and it was brutal fighting. It was brutal, and there they are, seeing the Pope, and that's really beautiful. It's very beautiful. I will say, I would like to say this too about the Jews of Rome. The Italian general officers of the Second World War were professionals, and many of them did not turn over the Jews. Mm-hmm. They were professional army men. They were professional soldiers. And when the Germans would say, you got to turn over all the Jews from the city, these Italian generals would ignore them. Yeah. And so there is something to be said for the professional soldier who is doesn't use his position. We think of all the Axis soldiers as evil, and I know there's a reason for that, but they weren't all evil. They were on the wrong side, but they weren't all evil. And I think the general officers of Italy should be commended for the fact that they weren't interested in turning over the Jews. They just didn't want to do it, so they ignored the orders.
And you made a comment yesterday when I think we first watched this video. You said that the Italians didn't view supremacy like the Germans did, and probably saw them as like
Nobody
a
ever.
bunch of weirdos.
I think the
Like,
Italians did think
what do
that.
what do you mean?
A lot of the Italians thought Hitler was weird as all get out. Yeah, they thought that. Like they were like, okay, fascism, yeah, Nazism, like come on. So, but I don't know that. I mean, like I was saying about Mussolini, he was a mass murderer. Yeah. He would wipe out all. If he could have, he would have wiped out all of the Slavs and taken their lands. But it wasn't because he thought that there was some weird Aryan myth or something. He just would murder whoever was in his way. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it's better. But it is. It's different. It's not Nazism. Yeah. It's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. How beautiful to see the Pope, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird because you see these people too, and it makes you think of like, I wonder what it'd be like to see like, I don't know, St. Francis or something. Because in your mind they become pictures in a book. Yeah. And they don't move and have humanity like that.
You expect them to be like these saintly figures all of their life and not sinners like they were when they were walking the earth.
Right, and he wasn't trying to hold him. He was riding in the chair, but he's not trying to hold himself apart like a king or something. He's trying to reach out and touch the soldiers and let them touch him, because imagine you're that soldier from Kansas or something. You go home and you say, I shook hands with the Pope. I mean, especially in those days when the Pope lived 1 million miles away, and wasn't even a person you ever expected to see in your life.
Today you have pilgrimages where you can literally, if we really wanted to, today we can leave, be there by next week Wednesday, and
be where by next week Wednesday?
Well, we can.
I can be there by tomorrow.
By tomorrow, but you can go to the next general audience.
By next Wednesday's general audience.
And
easily,
you can go and you can say hi, and if you have a baby, throw your baby so you can give them a blessing and a kiss, right? Like,
don't throw your babies. Yeah, but you know what I would need for that? $100,000. I don't know if I have made this clear in yesterday's show. I need $100,000, Edgar.
Maybe Elon Musk can give it to you when he gets his $1 trillion.
Right. If Elon Musk gets paid his $1 trillion, does he have to do this when he gets it?
What do you mean? You're making a reference. I have no idea what you're doing.
Do you know what I'm doing?
Is that Dr. Evil?
Yes.
I just watched Austin Powers.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched Austin Powers yesterday. I did. Yep.
We got to raise money today.
We do.
So pray for us. If you're watching right now, if you would say a prayer for us to raise the money that we need to raise. God is good, and he's always helpful. But he moves hearts, but the hearts have to be willing to open up the wallet. So please pray for the success of the appeal today.
And if you guys like what we're doing, especially with this new show, the Super Show, and if you want to see more content like this, consider donating yourself. So donate, you can actually text the word Catholic to the number 24365, the word Catholic at 24365. Again, it's only because of your guys' support that we're able to actually do these things, evangelize, whether it's direct apologetics or engaging with the culture like we do in this show.
Scariest thing I've heard about AI in the last few years is that it's making comp sci people try to do moral philosophy. I guess we're all going to have to do some moral philosophy. Somebody said they loved that picture of Psy, the one that goes up there when you play the music. I appreciate that. I think it's Di. I would say Di, but maybe it's D. I don't know. But that was cool to see the Pope.
Sean Ovation says pre-Pope Mobile.
Yeah, right. Pre-Pope Mobile. Right. Did you guys know? No. Did you guys have an AI there with you? I'm out of the flow of the conversation there.
We do have an AI. His name is Bender.
Grok is superior, more accurate, and less censored. And yeah, as Tyler said, open to correction. ChatGPT is more primitive, so to speak, I would argue. Meanwhile, Gemini is worse than ChatGPT, I think. Although I would say this, somebody told me about Gemini is that because Google has infinite money, they have all the money. They have more money than Oprah. That's how much money they have. That if you say to any of the large language model things, these AI things, do deep research on this for me. They'll all take a certain amount of computing time to do that research, Google will be like 5 times more than any of the rest of them because Google has so much money. They want to be known as the one you go to when you need deep research. So if I really wanted to, like, give me a real breakdown of the legal advances that were made by women in the Middle Ages, I would go to Gemini and I would say, do a deep search on this, take your time and tell me, and then it would go into, like, it's just because it's a matter of money. It's electricity that you're paying for, and it's computer time that you're paying for. And Google has so much more money than ChatGPT that ChatGPT will take a few seconds. It'll go thinking, and really it's having a cigarette. It's like, I'm thinking, whatever. But Gemini will go much, much deeper. So at least that's what I was told by somebody who knows about these computer things. But I gotta do a show, Edgar. Right. Cy gets bonus points for getting the name right. Oh, Di. Okay, like Diana. Okay, very good. King Neptune says, hey, Cy. Hey, King. What's up? I love the ocean.
That's good to know.
Large language models are not AI. Okay, Legacy Zach. See, you're into a world that I don't know. I don't understand that. Maybe you're correct. Maybe large language models are not AI. But it's a distinction that I will have to learn because I don't know anything about it.
All right.
I really don't. I don't know how you would distinguish between that. What? I'm just drinking Pure Leaf, no sugar, unsweetened iced tea. It's delicious.
This show not brought to you by.
Not yet. Someday, if somebody would just forward this to them, perhaps they would sponsor our program. It's as pure
as a leaf. All right. You're going to go
I'm busy. Do your show. I'm busy right now.
And now it's time for Edgar's 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. So we showed you that video of Pope Pius XII. You know, it's really easy to forget and forget to appreciate the history that, you know, we stand on the shoulders of giants. It's really easy to forget the history that we live because of. Pope Pius XII, you have, at least for my culture, the Cristero movement. I'm deeply appreciative for it. I think this is one of the reasons why all of us should at least study some history. Know where you come from and know why you're here. Study your Catholic history and appreciate the saints that lived before you, because the point of this life is to eventually become a saint. Use them as models for your life. I love always, for me, World War II history is fascinating, and the more I learn about it, the more I'm just enthralled by it, by that specific generation who is willing to stand up for their country and stand up for what they believed in and fight and willing to sacrifice all of it. So it's okay to look back, and it's okay to appreciate the people that lived before you, and I think we should pray for them. Now, that's very simple thoughts, and that's just my 2 cents today. So for my fellow Twitch people, for my fellow YouTube people, it's always good to see you guys. Sean O'Vision, it's always good to have you here. Legacy Zach, thanks for joining us. Mr. B, For Greater Glory is a good movie about the Cristeros. Absolutely phenomenal movie. I highly recommend people go check it out. It gives you a good overview, and you actually get to see the story of a couple of saints depicted on that movie, including Saint Jose Luis Sanchez. Great one. Big Stack says, hopefully not revisionist history of World War II. Well, that's why you go and you check your sources, basically. Let's see. Who else do we got here? See, Die Bear, I always thought it was D-Bear. My apologies for that. Let's see. Any other thoughts, my friends here? Legacy Sack, thanks. God bless you. And stick around for the show. First hour, we're going to have Jimmy Aiken doing an Ask Me Anything as we raise funds. And second hour, we're going to have Joe Heschmeyer. So stick around for that. In the meantime, we're going to go to our pre-show footage, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Thank you.
Happy to be here with you. It's Ask Me Anything both hours today, so if you have anything, today is your day. 888-318-7884 is the number. 888-318-7884. I do have to tell you, however, that will not be the only number we'll be giving out today. This is the second day of our 3-day pledge drive. We take 3 days every quarter, and we just take a little bit of each hour, those 6 hours that we're on, take a bit of each hour to ask you to support a Catholic Answers Live. And that's what's kept us on the air, coming up now on 3 decades of doing this on the air. And your help means everything. So if you could, maybe you could be the first person to get us started today. 888-291-8000 is the number to call if you're ready to make your pledge. So let me make sure that I'm clear on which